Hi, it's Rob from Brush and Boltgun. Today I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to paint a Space Marine Veteran badge. So the first colour that we're going to use is Vallejo Black, but any black will do. Or if you're doing it maybe like the Ultramarines, you'd have white going onto the blue background. But the process is still the same, so you're going to be drawing a square initially. So you want to get that as equal as possible on each side and as square as you possibly can. And just get that filled in so it's one smooth colour. What we'll be doing from there is using the background colour, which is red in this case, just to work it into the correct shape. Add in all the little details that make that veteran badge. Like so. So you've got your square there. It's not 100% straight, but it'll do for now. We're going to use some Citadel Mephiston Red. And what we're going to start doing is taking a small square out of each corner. So if you look at the veteran's badge, the side pieces and the top and bottom pieces don't go all the way to the very ends. They're slightly shorter. So what we're doing here is taking a little square out of each corner of the initial square, just so that we have those straight bits at the top, bottom and sides the right length. And from here we can start working on the inside part of it. So once you've got these little squares in place, start thinking about how we're going to do the little diagonals into the middle. You can see here that there is actually Evil Sunz Scarlet on some of these bits that I'm using the Mephiston Red, but we can use the Mephiston Red and then touch it up with the Evil Sunz Scarlet later on. So next up we're going to do diagonal lines going in from each corner. When you're doing these, to make sure you get them roughly the right direction, you want to be trying to aim for the opposite corner when you're putting them on. If you aim for anywhere other than the opposite corner, it'll immediately look wonky. So you really do want to try and get those aiming for each other. This one here is a bit of a pain because it's just going behind the power pack there. Now that we've got those angles going in, we're going to start working on the sections towards the outside. Now if you look at the veteran's badge, it's got a kind of maybe a bar on each side and the top and bottom too. So we're just going to work on these parts and get the little rectangular piece at the very bottom, those two squared ends set up. And we're going to do this on each section. Once we've got these parts done with the square ends, we're then going to start trying to shape the middle bits, which is probably the trickiest part. Getting the actual square ends to these parts is actually really quite simple. It is the inside bits where you've painted on those diagonals which is the real pain to do. It does take a little bit more back and forth of trying to get them straight and then trying to get them the right length, getting them so that they look even when you look at them straight on. Like so. So now what we're going to use is a little tiny bit of Evil Sunz Scarlet. We're just going to colour in those bits that should be the Scarlet rather than the Mephiston Red, which covers most of them, I think. Maybe the top left section. Should remain as the Mephiston Red. The rest of them we're just going to touch up here. Very carefully put them in so that it's got the same colour as the background. Now as a Blood Angel's successor, this is one of the ones who used the Blood Angel's iconography, so he's actually going to have a white blood drop painted on the shoulder instead of the veteran symbol. But I thought while I'm painting him I may as well paint up this as well because it's going to be relevant to a lot more chapters who aren't Blood Angel's successors. So I thought stick this up now. And if it's any use to anyone, happy days. Now that you've got those colours back in, we're just going to use a little bit more Vallejo Black. I'm going to go back over the sections that we've been playing about with. I'm just going to try and fit them together, get them looking that little bit squarer, that little bit neater. Now you notice when I paint sometimes I'll use one of my fingers, it'll just be resting against the miniature while I'm painting that, is just to steady the brush hand a little bit more. You're not rubbing where you're pressing, you're just gently pressing that on, applying a bit of pressure, and that'll just steady your hand that tiny little bit. So as always, when you're looking at it like this, you can see where's the right way and where's the wrong way, what looks out of place, and that bottom section is slightly too short. So all we're going to do is use a little bit more Vallejo Black, and we're going to extend this bottom piece down a touch. Make that kind of twice the thickness, and then we're just going to work on the inside sections once more to get them about the right shape. Now just thinning down those pieces at the bottom. We've got those, the double thickness where we added a little bit extra. Again, we're just going to add a little bit more black just to tweak the edges. And this final part now, it's probably the final kind of like 2.5 minutes or so, is going to be just tweaking the shape and getting the shape looking that little bit better. You can see that bottom left corner, because I've moved it down and left the height of those sections a little bit too high, so we need to bring them back down again with a little bit more black. But you can see the basic idea and the basic kind of formula of doing these veteran badges like this. Now that we've done this bottom bit and extended that a bit, you do really need to extend these side pieces as well. Just lower them down a bit. But once you look straight on, it doesn't look too bad at all. You can see that now, that's not looking too bad. Need to tweak up those edges, so again, we're just going to use a tiny little bit of black and a tiny little bit of red, and we're just going to keep tweaking those sides and getting that to the right shape. I'm just going to speed up this a little bit, as it's a bit more back and forth than the rest of it. And then once you've finished, you should end up with something similar to this. That is the basic way of painting the Space Marine Veteran badge. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. Also, think about subscribing to some of our other social media linked below. Thanks very much.